Hi guys, welcome back to another video, and Steve's back today, like I said on the last one, and he's brought with him a sort of, like I said before, a very bucket list guitar for anyone really. So what is it?
It is a Clapton Strat, but I've owned a few of those. This is the Customshop version, so you get the signature on the back instead of the front. It's very light.
Yeah.
I've owned three before and I love them, but there's something about them I get on with, and I've always wanted the Customshop version, and it hasn't disappointed. It's you played it, and
yeah, I've just played it before now off camera. The guitar is very, very light, and it's actually the first ever Customshop Strat that I've played, and you know, a bit of a funny one to start on because obviously it is a Strat. All of your diehard Strat tones live in that guitar
somewhere.
But finding them for someone who's not used to that circuitry is a bit odd. So
it is odd, yeah.
If you can sort of, we're plugged into the Katana, which is just behind, by the way. But if you can like go through how it works and how much sort of drive you can get from the guitar and why Clapton doesn't use pedals, and
absolutely,
that'd be real cool because
so,
you know your way around it.
Yeah. So we've got what look like three single coils, and they are sold as noiseless single coils, but they're not. They are humbuckers essentially because they're stacked single coils. So if you took one out, they're quite deep. So they are very pokey pickups, but you can get that Strat sound from them. But it's a different Strat sound. It's not your vintage. It's vintagey sound. Then you've got TBX tone control. So in the middle, that basically doesn't do anything, and then you can get a really nice treble and then a really dark bass. And then this one isn't a tone, it's a mid boost, so you get about 25 decibel boost,
which is insane.
Yeah,
it's a lot of boost.
If you've got a lot of headroom on your amp and a very clean channel, this will just give you lots and lots of volume. If you've got a bit of gain, it will just make the gain more saturated, and if you've got a heavy gain, you won't even hear any difference at all. So when you've got this up, I usually put the tone on full then just to brighten it up because it does darken the tone a bit. Tons of circuitry in here, and a battery in the back, and it's still really light, which is cool.
I forgot to ask you about the battery actually.
Yeah, so
it's like an EMG with a 9-volt.
No, sorry. So when you take this off, there's a 9-volt battery, which is a bit clumsily placed in a route.
But I would much prefer that to a separate route there with another battery.
And I have seen some where they're under the pick guard, which is not much use either. So that's what it is. They last forever. It's worth noting that when the battery goes, you can't play the guitar. The whole circuit is just dead. All right. So that's So this is what Eric does. He's got a thing about pedals. He just doesn't like pedals at all, except for his wah-wah and maybe his Leslie. So what he does is has his amp pretty much flat out on clean, just a regular valve amp all the way up. Backs off here to get his clean tone. So if I just demonstrate, so this would be his clean tone, say. So that would be what he's doing for rhythm, and then if he wanted to go to a solo, impromptu solo, he would just go to full. Cleans up really nicely, and that's pretty much what he does for most of his stuff. But then when he does want to give it some welly, we can introduce the mid boost.
Just before you do that, I was just going to say, like, if you notice the difference in how that was starting to wind the amp up, if a lot of you will be familiar with the Katana, this is just on the clean channel. It's not on the crunch channel. There's hardly any drive. There's no boost attached. We're just clean as a whistle.
The guitar itself is driving it because they're so high output, these pickups.
Just give you an idea of just what those pickups are doing, and now you'll see even more because this is unreal.
So if we go clean, push it up, and then introduce the mid boost. And you can go as clean as you want without any pedals. You can be anywhere on the stage. Easy. If you're trading solos with somebody, just back off, and then when you want to really drown them out.
Back to a Strat.
Back to a Strat.
So obviously you just said before you've had guitars with that circuitry before to get used to. That's your first custom shop one.
Yeah.
But how long did it take to sort of know where all those sounds are? And do you think because you do the same on a Les Paul, you're very, as we saw before, you're very much so all over the guitar, that kind of helps?
Yeah.
It's a more sort of physical way of playing the guitar.
To me, because I've always been a Strat guy, it was second nature. And watching Clapton as a youngster on telly a lot.
Yeah, seeing him moving here.
I could see what he was doing, but I didn't know what he was doing. I thought, why is he constantly using his tone control? And he wasn't. So the first time I picked up my first one, it was just natural. The only thing I didn't get used to using was the TBX because it's notched in the middle. It's hard to turn it because it settles in the middle. So you've got to really get used to that sort of movement.
About it kind of thing,
But you don't need to use it all the time. But sometimes using the TBX, the mid boost can darken it a bit, and you just want to brighten him up. The Les Paul, I was never comfortable with Les Pauls for a long time. Until I started playing, say, that Tokai that we reviewed, and that just got me into that. And then
But you'll always be at home on a Strat, which is kind of the same as me. I keep being drawn to a Les Paul.
And that's what it is. And but getting this now, it's like an old friend again. I haven't had one for about 3 years, I think now. And it's just and the custom shop one we were discussing is, it feels like it's a very pronounced V here.
Yeah, you can feel the V from the sort of first to the fifth, seventh.
And then about here, it starts going off to a lovely C shape.
It's a very comfortable guitar. And what I would say as well is if you're the sort of person who's just decided that you don't like V-necks based on what you think they'll feel like, try one, because I'm very surprised at how nice that is. And I would have said I don't really like V-necks because it's just that angular thing in your head, but it's not like that. It's just
if you're playing like that, it's not great. But because I play the same as you, thumb over
it's way better.
It's so natural. It's so natural. And by the time you get up here, you can just it's really comfortable. It's really nice.
I mean, to be fair, like I said, that's the first custom shop I've ever played. So a bit of it is like, wow, it's a custom shop. But again, same sort of thing. If you think that custom shops are just a bit of a, is it that much better? There's something special about it. Well, it's hard to say.
I've owned 3 Clapton Strats before. 2 out of 3 of them were really good.
Yeah.
The third one I owned, something about it wasn't quite great. But the first 2 I owned were really good. And I would say, that would have suited me anyway. But the opportunity came to get a used one of these, which don't come up very often.
Not at all.
And it's a bucket list thing for me because I love them. I just thought, let's give one a go, and I wasn't disappointed. I was really nervous I was going to be disappointed.
I bet.
And I wasn't. And watching you play it for the first time, it just felt so at home. You could just see you play it so
I
easily.
was more than happy to play it. Like I said, controls would take me a little bit. I'm not used to that circuitry.
But everything comes down to the playability, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
And it's just so easy to play.
And the weight as well. It's a very light Strat.
It's incredible.
Despite all those extra wires.
There's tons of circuitry in there, honestly, and these pickups are big, Like I said, they're stacked on top of each other to make them look like a single coil. But you can get that kind of, try my best to get that sort of Martin Knopfler. It's not far off.
It's not, no.
It's beefier, it's a bit bigger.
But it's Stratty, that's for sure.
It's Stratty, and if you just fiddle with your amp a bit, you could probably get it even more. So.
Just one last thing on the Clapton circuitry. Do you know where that started or not? I've just never read about it.
So Clapton used to play Les Pauls, and he was actually better known for playing Les Pauls in the 60s and stuff. Or
with John
Gibsons, I should say. And then he fell in love with Strats during the early 70s. But I think when he was playing live, he knew certain songs needed that creamier tone. So he basically got Fender to help him develop a Strat where they had this mid-boost.
So he was the first to do it on a Strat then?
As far as I know, I'm not positive on that, but as far as I know, especially on a run of Strats that anybody can buy.
That's what I mean,
So he could be just noodling around, Stratty, And then if you wanted to kind of get that Gibson Les Paul type feel, tone, as he called
Yeah,
it.
that's it, yeah.
And back to the start.
Yeah, I mean, one thing for sure, you could not do that with just a guitar. Without any channel switching or pedals on a Strat.
And it is a compromise, you know, it doesn't sound like
not
Gibson.
Much though, I mean,
but you know, when you're playing live to thousands of people, it gets you through a gig without changing guitars, and you can get that pushy sound, and like you say, it does a lot of things.
I think a lot, because I know for sure that I've read online people saying that Clapton's Strat, it doesn't sound like a Strat, and then you hear these things and they just get into your head.
Yeah,
but be in a room with one, watch someone play one, and it absolutely is Stratty enough when you find it in there. You know what I mean?
If we compared it to a vintage Strat now, this would sound very different. But essentially, that's nothing else but a Strat.
Yeah. Speaking of comparing, what we'll do one last thing because we're here and we might as well, and I know you want to see it, is let's compare it sort of thing, not directly compare, but to the Player Series Strat that was in the last video. So this is a Strat, Alnico 5 pickups, you know, there's no fancy circuitry in here, it's going to sound like a Strat. So if we A-B between the two, we won't change anything on the amp, and you'll see just how different it actually sounds, you know.
Okay. Should you do the not for the thing then?
Yeah, if you just play something on there, and then I'll kind of speed up the change of guitars so that they can see it directly back to back. Sounds like a Strat to me, but let's go to a more conventional Strat, shall we say, or a much cheaper one.
Yeah, a much cheaper one.
Bye. So with that then, to be fair, I was going to say, like, you can hear this does have a little bit more low end to fill up that sort of space, and that's wanting to go a bit more.
I had the volume almost
difference.
Halfway down on that to get that clean tone.
Yeah.
Whereas with this, I did have to back it off a bit. These aren't exactly vintagey pickups either, are they?
No, they're just Alnico 5.
Yeah, they're not low output pickups.
No.
So I'd have to come down on the volume a bit more. And then another Strat would sound different again.
Exactly, yeah. And we could go all day with this because I've got a rack of a few shots. We won't do that just on this occasion.
So ultimately, any Strat will be a Strat, but you just need to dial it into that particular amp.
Yeah.
Because there's so many
one thing I would do with that one, to be fair, is that I would never have my Strat pickups that high. For me, if you look at all my others, they're much lower to the pick guard.
That's probably.
And I always prefer that unanimously, pretty much.
Yeah.
Different story with this, obviously, because it's not, it's a different thing.
Yeah.
But
so
just
there you go.
sitting here with this just feels like a very homely thing. It's very,
yeah. So this is a Strat, that's a Strat, but they're very different things. But they can sound as you want them to sound, like any guitar, really.
But that one you need some pedals for to get it to quite through like this.
Yeah, you will not get that. It's just not distorting anything.
No, it's crazy different. Well, I appreciate bringing it over anyway.
No problem.
You know, congratulations on a Customshop guitar.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
And congratulations on that one as well, because anyone who's watched the end of the video, that one is now Steve's, and the famous Tokai on this channel has come back once again.
Insert special effects.
Yeah. And is now mine. So it has found its way back in the end.
Yeah.
So there we go. So you'll be seeing some more of this, and no doubt some more of Steve in some future videos as well. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.
Try to lift my head up with this.
Yeah, it's not the best, is it? This is what we call just making do.